This is Imsa. What's the address of your emergency?
This house, 132nd East Avenue.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My husband picked up someone that my son had gotten a wreck with, and she's in the car, and I don't feel her breathing.
All right.
Oh my gosh, she's bleeding. Oh my God.
This chilling 911 call was made by the mother of 28-year-old Isaias Torres after he'd borrowed and then crashed her car.
So I'm looking at her. She's not moving. She's not breathing. I'm like, she's not responding to me. He's like, what are you talking about? She's just drunk. I was like, no, she's not responding to me. That's when I called 911.
At first, the parents didn't fully understand what had happened. They initially believed it was a drunken accident. But then, during his interview, Isaias' father had a horrific realization.
At what point did you realize that maybe it's more than her just being drunk?
I seen something in the neck. There was blood in the neck.
Okay.
I would have tried to take her out. I tried. I didn't know. I just thought she was super drunk. I'm not perfect, but I was not a bad father.
On November 30th, 2022, at 5 a.m., Isaias' mother had made the disturbing 911 call after she was summoned to a horrific scene near East 41st Street and South 134th East Avenue by her ex-husband. First responders reacted to her call with immediate effect, but they were already too late. When they arrived, they had no idea how twisted the path they were about to go down would end up being.
She's got a pretty good-sized gash right here in the neck.
Okay.
And she's ice cold.
What's going on, man?
Odd story here. So, I guess son, whose name is Isaias Torres, showed up here banging on the door, hollering for someone to come help him. They drove down. There's a car apparently parked down in the water down in the ditch, somewhere up 152nd. They picked her up, put her in here, and they brought her to this house.
The homeowner explained that his son, Isaias Torres, had arrived at his place in the early hours of the morning, banging on the door and screaming for help. Isaias said that he'd crashed the car he'd borrowed from his mother into a nearby pond with a female passenger still inside. But what happened after the homeowner helped his son get the woman out of the car and into his truck was truly perplexing.
The fight. Son took off.
It seemed that Isaias, in his drunken state, had tried to fight his father and then fled the scene. Tragically, this meant the only person who could have identified the female victim was now missing. While one set of officers stayed at the father's house, another went down to the pond where the car had crashed to see if any evidence could be recovered.
Somebody's going to need to go with another officer out to this field.
Okay.
Everyone's home. There is, in fact, a red Acura in the pond out here.
Detective Matt Farrell of the Tulsa PD was set to lead the investigation. At the scene of the crash, he and his officers again recounted all they'd gathered about what could have happened.
But it looks like he drove right into it.
Yeah, you can see the...
Crazy place to end up.
Yeah. So Dad comes out here with the truck, and they find her either somewhere over here or to the northeast in the bushy area. And they load her up in the truck, take her back to the house. That's when fire gets called.
Despite knowing almost nothing about the victim, they were able to piece together what little information they had.
Victim name?
Dad said they have no clue who she is.
Age range or anything?
I would say somewhere between probably 20s to 30s.
With these sparse details being all they had, the detectives had to look into other avenues. But just then, they received some tragic news. The female victim had succumbed to her injuries. Her body was collected and sent for an autopsy. This made the investigation a higher priority. There was one more person still to be questioned, Isaias' mother, who made the fateful 911 call. As Detective Matt and the other officers scoured the crime scene, another detective sat down with the mother back at the station to conduct a detailed interview.
You said on the way down here that you let him borrow your car. So what happened to your car?
I guess it got right into A pond?
Okay.
She told the detective that Isaias had borrowed her car as he said he needed to look for a new job. But then the next thing she heard of it was when her ex-husband called her after the crash.
So, what time did you get called this morning?
It was between 4 and 4:30 a.m.
So, was it your ex-husband that called you?
Ex-husband.
What was he telling you was going on?
You need to get over here. You need to control your son. Cool down. I helped him out with some crap that he told me to help him out with, and now he's over here trying to fight me. So I hung up and got there.
After getting the call, despite it being the early hours of the morning, she'd rushed to her ex's place, believing her son was in dire straits. But nothing could have prepared her for what she was about to witness.
When I got there, it was quiet, and I knocked on the door, and he's like, "Your son's in the truck." He had her covered up kind of like with a blanket, and she was cold and she had a jacket on. I go to open the door, and he's like, "What?" He's like getting mad because his dad called me. So he gets out of the truck and he's going and trying to fight his dad again. So I'm trying to stop all that and get in between them, and I don't even know how he's trying to fight if he's drunk.
Okay.
Because he was stumbling everywhere.
So, how drunk do you think he was?
Pretty drunk.
Okay.
I told my ex-husband, go in the house and lock it, because if you're out here, he's going to want to keep on messing with you.
Isaias was so drunk that he was enraged with his parents, despite the fact that he was the one who'd asked his father for help. But what his mother saw next would chill her to the bone.
Ex-husband went in the house, and so after that, I'm like, "Junior, who is this anyways?" And he's like, "It's just a friend." I'm like, "What's going on? Like, why is this girl here, and what happened?" He's like, "It's none of your business." So he's over here having to fit on his own. And I went back to the truck to check on the girl, because when I did see the girl at first, she was like moaning and just not all there.
Okay.
So I'm looking at her. She's not moving. She's not breathing. I'm like, she's not responding to me.
The mother was horrified to see the girl not responding. Could her son's reckless drunken driving had led to her losing her life?
He's like, "What are you talking about? She's just drunk." I was like, "No, she's not responding to me." That's when I called 911.
Do you notice any signs of trauma?
I thought I seen some blood somewhere here, but she had that big coat on.
Okay.
Due to the small amount of blood and her being well covered up, the mother had assumed the girl's injuries were minor initially, but in reality, they turned out to be far worse. But what her son did next confounded her even more.
So you call 911. Then what happened? Does your son help you?
No, he just took off.
Okay. He was walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
As if the situation wasn't bad enough, Isaias had disappeared into the night, leaving her and her ex-husband alone with the unresponsive girl. But then the detective revealed something that left the mother visibly shaken.
Do you know the status of the girl that was in the truck that you helped out?
No.
Okay. Basically, she's passed away. So now you know how big this is. It's the reason all these detectives are involved.
The situation was now precarious. It was crucial for the detectives to find Isaias to learn his side of the story, but they had no idea where he could be. His mother gave them what little information she could.
So I need to find your son, and I need to get his side of the story.
And I did. Yeah.
Where does he permanently live, your son?
Who knows? Maybe he's staying with the girl. I don't know.
Okay. Does he have any friends that he would go visit because it's awful cold?
The thing with him is he doesn't have many friends.
Okay.
He has very limited friends.
Since there was nothing more to question her about, the detective did one last thing before ending the interview.
Here's what I think's gonna happen. Eventually he's gonna wander back into your life somehow. And then that's when I want you to call my cell phone. It's on the back.
Okay.
And then we'll get his side of the story. Okay, sit tight.
Okay.
And with that, the detective closed the interview, confident that if Isaias suddenly reappeared, his mother would call him so that they could speak to him. However, this also left the investigative team with a startling lack of leads to follow. But just when it seemed that the trail might grow cold, they received a boost in the form of a new lead. The victim's autopsy report had come back and brought with it a sinister new twist. The autopsy revealed what everyone feared the most. It wasn't just an accident.
It's not looking like it's from the wreck.
Not looking like it's from a wreck.
No. She's got those, and then she's got the 2 sharp forks on her neck. One is longer than it's deep, the other is deeper than it is long.
Deep bruises covered her arms, legs, and face, injuries that didn't match the crash. Then came the most chilling detail. They found 2 stab wounds on her neck. The results revealed a crime of passion. This was now officially a homicide. The police were now looking at those closest to her. The first and most obvious suspect was Isaias. Police gathered that he had a history of domestic assault, battery, attempted robbery, and property damage. Since his father was at the crime scene, they brought him in for questioning as well. Detectives began by trying to understand the full picture of what had happened.
What time did he show up over there at your house when he woke you up?
Around 3:30, I'm thinking.
Okay.
So I heard something banging going on, and my son coming down the hallway, and he says, come on, I need your help, I need your help. My car from the pond, from the water. My friend's out there. So he takes me down to show me where the car's at. He's telling me she's over here, someone over here. And he's going everywhere. He's drunk, he's doped up or something, I don't know. So finally he says, I hear her. And he's right, I could hear some moaning going on. It was dark, and they're soaking wet.
You said she was wet then too?
Yeah. Told her to put the jacket on. It was super cold, it was like 29 degrees.
The father was cooperative, explaining everything in detail.
She's not helping us. And she laid on him and she's still mumbling and stuff. Like, It was like super drunk. That's what I think she's drunk. I'm not even paying attention too much to her because I'm more getting mad at him. And then he's saying, Monica, I'm back, come back, Monica.
At this moment, the victim's identity was finally revealed. Her name was Monica. With this new information, the police pressed forward, determined to uncover the truth.
Have you ever seen her before?
Never in my life. I don't know who she is.
Have you noticed any blood or anything around her at this time?
No, I didn't notice too much blood. Or it was more leaves. She had leaves in her hair and everything. I thought they were having a hair. So finally we get her in the truck. We come back to the house and I go, let's take her in the house. And he's like trying to fight me.
That was strange because his father was only trying to help. So why had Isaias tried to fight him? The police knew something was off, and so they started digging deeper.
And then he's trying to get in my face right here, and he's acting stupid. And I go, figure out what you're going to do because I'm done with you. You're an idiot, you're stupid son. If you man up, and you become a better person, then you come talk to me.
Maybe even his father had sensed Isaias' dark and sinister intentions.
What did he say about what happened?
He never really talked about what happened, man. I never talked to him about what happened, how it happened, man. I never did really speak to him more. On good terms, because I was already pissed. I was back inside, and I called his mom. The only one I could talk to him. Then mom comes in. He starts talking crap to me. You're close to him, telling his mom like this and all this. He swung at me and I hit him like 3 or 4 times. And finally he calmed down. I remember telling me, just been inside. You take care of this.
The fog of mystery was lifting, revealing a horrifying truth. Then a devastating realization came out of nowhere. His own son might be the murderer. And worse, without even knowing it, he had helped him.
At what point did you realize that maybe it's more than her just being drunk?
I seen something in the neck. There was blood in the neck.
Okay.
I thought it would have been a cut when they went in the pond or what. I don't know, man. If I went home, she was more than drunk. I would have tried to save her life. I tried. I didn't know. I just thought she was super drunk.
Now the police pushed for the final piece of the puzzle.
Were you outside whenever he ended up walking away?
Yes, I seen him walking away.
What made him walk away?
Because the mom kept on saying she's not breathing.
We're in the process of looking for him. Where does he live at?
I don't know where it is. Every time we talk, we fight. So I kicked him out of the house not too long ago.
Where do you think he'd be at right now?
Don't know, man. Don't know.
Any friends or anything that you know of?
No.
Although the police couldn't confirm Isaias' whereabouts, they uncovered something just as unsettling. Violence had always followed him.
Has he ever had any problems in the past with violence?
Yeah, he's trying to find me.
His father's voice trembled with pain. He'd tried to be a good father, but now he felt like he'd failed.
I'm not perfect, but I was not a bad father.
Nobody's saying you are.
No.
Nobody's saying you are.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. We understand. It's tough. It's your kid. We'd like to talk to him just to try to see what happened. If things got out of hand, what happened, we don't.
I appreciate you coming down and talking to us, okay? If he gets in contact with you, call me, okay? Anytime, all right?
After the interrogation, the father took the detectives to the crime scene. He walked them through what he'd seen that night, recalling every detail as it happened. At the crime scene, the police were not prepared for the disturbing evidence they were about to uncover.
Look at the wet shirt she was laying on.
Did y'all see this over here, sir?
There's quite a bit of blood right there.
Yeah, that looks pretty fresh.
The evidence was found nearly 200 yards from the pond where the car had crashed, but the police weren't sure if the blood was from the accident or the murder. After the forensic team went through the scene, they found even more horrific details.
There's no blood in the car. It's looking more like maybe they wrecked out and then she was running away. He chased her. In the mud behind the car, there was a slider. And once we got the car removed from the pond in the passenger seat, there's another slider. So she had to have been inside the car and escaping from there.
Police believe the victim had tried to escape, but the killer had hunted her down. From the father's interview, they'd learned her name was Monica, but not much more about her. She had a few tattoos, and using those details, they began tracing her whereabouts. Isaias was now the only suspect. His picture was broadcast and shared widely, but hours passed with no leads.
He's had plenty of time to walk wherever he wants to go.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be anywhere, really. You would think he's trying to stay warm somewhere.
He had vanished without a trace. Just as the search seemed to hit a dead end, Isaias' mother came forward with new information. She mentioned his ex-girlfriend, who might know where he was. The police wasted no time and contacted her immediately.
Hello.
This is Detective Ryden, Tulsa Police. I'd like to come talk to you in person. Are you at home right now by chance?
I'm actually at work.
Would it be a big deal if I came and talked to you for maybe 10 minutes? Would your boss allow that?
Yeah, that's no problem.
Where do you work at, ma'am? Okay, I'm headed your way.
Okay.
Police went to the ex-girlfriend's address and questioned her about Isaias. Without hesitation, she gave them a crucial lead regarding his apartment, where he might be hiding. She also told them about his abusive behavior.
She was really helpful. She was able to provide us his last known address. We'll be checking that. I asked her if he'd ever been violent towards her in the past, and she said that they had been issues. She filed a pec war against him back in the day. Sounds like he's a troubled person. Hopefully we'll find him at this most recent address in Tulsa.
Police rushed to the address and secured a search warrant. As soon as it was issued, they moved in to search Isaias' apartment.
Doors up. Pretty good.
Their hopes were crushed when Isaias was nowhere to be found. But as they searched the apartment, they uncovered some shocking evidence linking him to the crime.
Looks like he came back and had to force his way into his own apartment. Looks like blood on the inside of the door.
Got a cell phone here.
Here's another phone.
That could be her phone. Yeah.
That looks like blood.
Yeah, it does.
Yes. Got his boots. They're soaking wet. Got mud all over the bottom side. The case is moving forward, and I still don't know who my victim is.
Even at this stage of the investigation, the cops still didn't know the victim's full identity. All they had was a single name, Monica. But that wasn't enough. Determined to uncover the truth, they pushed forward, searching for every possible clue that could finally reveal who she really was. Soon, they made a chilling discovery, one that would finally unmask Monica's true identity.
I came across a female that matched the description of our victim. Our victim had a male's name tattooed across her chest, so started looking through some of our databases and City Source and came across a female that had a tattoo with that name, had a son by that name, found an old report that listed an ex-husband, and I was able to call him and get a phone number for this female. Called that female's phone number, and the cell phone that we collected from the suspect's apartment started ringing at Matt Farrell's desk. Her name is Monica Deleon.
It was the breakthrough they'd been searching for. A single phone call was all it took to bridge the gap between suspicion and certainty. As the recovered phone started ringing, the truth became undeniable. They had just uncovered the identity of their victim. 32-year-old Monica Deleon was born and raised in Tulsa, the second youngest of 8 siblings. She worked as a certified nursing assistant, caring for patients in hospitals and assisted living facilities. But above all, she was a devoted mother of 3, striving to build a better future for her family.
Our ex-husband let us know that Monica had sisters, so we're going to want to speak to them.
This was the most challenging part for the detectives. Their job wasn't just about solving a case. It was about delivering the kind of news that no family should ever have to hear. With heavy hearts, they made their way to Monica's sister's home, knowing their words would change their life forever.
Today, this morning, we found your sister, and she had been assaulted, okay? And she ended up dying this morning. We've been spending most of all today looking for the guy that did it. We know who he is. We're trying to track him down right now.
I've seen a photo of some guy this morning on my phone, but
It's all over the news. That's it. We're very sorry for your loss. And like I said, we know who did it. We're just trying to find it. All right.
Take care.
Thank you for seeing me.
Monica's family was now living a nightmare, struggling to process the heartbreaking news. But for the detectives, there was still work to be done.
Obviously, that was a really sad situation for them, finding out what had happened to her. I wasn't able to give them all the answers right now. I don't have the why in this case. My goal is to figure out where Isaias is, bring him in, and hopefully he can tell us what happened.
As detectives closed in on Isaias Torres, they were prepared for a chase. But what they didn't expect was someone from his past stepping forward, a person who knew the truth about him. And when she finally broke her silence, what she revealed would shatter everything they thought they knew. Her revelations exposed his true nature, and with each detail, the motive behind Monica's brutal fate became disturbingly clear.
All right, just kind of walk me through your relationship with Isaias.
Her story was filled with fear and control. As she spoke, detectives began to see a pattern. Isaias Torres wasn't just dangerous, he had a history. And with every detail she shared, the case against him became clearer.
He told me if I called the police that I was going to regret it. And that I needed to be careful, and I was just terrified.
Yeah.
She'd lived in silence, too afraid to speak out. But now she was breaking that silence, revealing the actual danger that Isaias Torres posed.
The second time, he had a charger or a cord, and he wrapped it around my neck.
Her story revealed the real Isaias Torres, who was controlling, violent, and unafraid to make threats. But just as detectives were piecing everything together, a new lead surfaced. A tip had come in, and it would be the break they needed. The Warrant squad received a crucial tip. Isaias Torres had just been spotted outside an apartment complex in East Tulsa, getting into a car with a relative. Without wasting a moment, detectives swiftly headed to the location, determined to finally track him down.
Isaias Torres! Open the passenger door! Isaias Torres! We have a warrant for your arrest! Open the door!
Hey, we're gonna put some pepper ball.
Yeah, we're working on it. Hey, we're about to pepperball the car, man. Please get out.
Get out of the car!
Doors opening, doors opening.
Keep both hands where you see it, both hands.
I got him. Isaiah, look at me, brother. Just walk to me.
Look,
Ball,
hands up, hands up.
Hands up.
Keep walking. Hands like that.
Suspect in custody here, buddy.
As officers closed in, Isaias Torres realized his time was up. But instead of resisting arrest, his reaction was something they hadn't expected.
What all happened?
He asked me to kill him on the way here.
He did.
He was saying he can't go to prison, wanted us to kill him, wanted me to open the door so he could jump into traffic, kill himself. I was like, I can't do that, man. We don't want to hurt you. Then I had to remind him that he has a 7-year-old daughter to look for. It's a little spicy in there. Pepperball was deployed.
Yeah.
After a long search, detectives finally had Isaias Torres in custody. Now it was time to sit down with him to uncover the truth about what really happened that day.
How you doing? I'm Detective Farrell. This is Detective Kennedy.
How you doing?
Okay, we're working the homicide with Monica Deleon. Me and that pepperball.
What's going with my attorney?
You gonna wait for your attorney? Okay. I'll give you my card so that you can give it to him, okay? All right?
Sure.
You know you have it on a warrant, correct? You're being arrested for first-degree murder, okay? So you're gonna get booked into David L. Moss. Before you go down there, I'm gonna have crime scene investigators come in here and they're gonna take some pictures of you, okay?
Okay.
All right? Hang tight.
But when the moment came, Isaias Torres refused to talk. Instead of answering questions, he chose to remain silent, insisting on having his attorney. For detectives, it was a setback, but they weren't giving up. Before moving forward, they took a step back, reviewing all the evidence that had tied Isaias to the crime. The information both his parents had given placed him as the only person with Monica at the scene of the crime. The autopsy confirmed Monica had suffered stab wounds. They found Monica's phone at his apartment, a damning piece of evidence that placed him at the center of the investigation. His history of violence painted a chilling picture. Every clue pointed in one direction. The evidence would have to speak for itself.
He's got a black eye, which I know him and his dad got in a fight that night, right before he took off on foot. He had a bunch of scrapes that looked like to his hands, which is pretty consistent with the wooded area where she was found at, because there were a lot of thorny bushes that were out there, so I'm sure that's what it's from. I'd like to know all the little details as what happened that night, what caused him to do all this. But we'll never know because he's not going to talk to us.
Isaias Torres has been charged with first-degree murder and is currently awaiting trial. While he remains presumed innocent until proven guilty, the legal process is underway. In many cases, charges can be reduced or even dropped, but for now, he faces the weight of this serious accusation. Despite the allegations from his ex-girlfriend, he has not been charged with any crimes related to those claims. As the trial approaches, one question remains: will justice be served? Monica Deleon's tragic fate has left a hole in the hearts of those who loved her. For her family, especially her sisters, the pain of losing her in such a brutal way is something they will carry forever. What makes it even harder is the unanswered question, why? They still don't know what drove Isaias to take Monica's life. Was it a crime of passion, a fit of rage, or was it something far more sinister? The desperation to uncover the truth weighs heavily on their hearts.
Her death was senseless, and we don't know what happened, why.
Anybody she could talk to, she could make friends, and sometimes she trusted more people than she should have.
I mean, we just found out so late. And I just feel like, we really did, in a way, I say our final goodbye.
She was a mother, a sister, and a caregiver, someone who dedicated her life to helping others.
We picked out this tree for my sister Monica. But it would just remind us that, she was a beautiful person. It's still kind of hard to grasp the point that she's not here no more.
She had a beautiful smile. She had an awesome personality. And her kids knew that she loved them a lot.
Still, it's unbelievable that Monica's not here. Well, what happened to her, it broke all our hearts, everybody's heart.
Now, as they await justice, all they have left is memories and the hope that Monica's story will not be forgotten. And it's here that we have to end this tragic tale. We'd like to take a moment to remember Monica Deleon for who she was, a beloved sister, daughter, mother, and friend who filled the lives of all she knew with joy and laughter. We hope that her loved ones find some form of peace as time passes. What are your thoughts on this case? Do you think Isaias intended to kill her, or was it an accident?